Hey there, creative friends. Today, we're turning music pages, book pages, digital prints, and all sorts of repurposed papers into unique handmade envelopes. Inspired by the amazing Margaret over at Seven Plaza, we'll dive into some creative chaos because, let's be honest, it's me, and we'll be making a pit stop on the struggle bus to Wonkyville. But don't worry, it's all part of the fun. So if this is something that sounds fun to you, grab your favorite papers, a glue stick, and maybe a cup of coffee, and let's get crafty. Hi, it's time once again for coffee, cats, and crafting with the Ginger Cat Lady. I'm Pam, and Harley, well, he's off doing kitten stuff. So I've got my coffee, but it's in a sippy cup today. Not too happy about that, but oh well, only way I can keep the cat out of it? So on my desk is a humongous pile of book pages that I have pulled from various books. There are pages from children's books, teaching related books, some music, encyclopedias, dictionaries, and much, much more. My inspiration today comes from Margaret over at Seven Plaza and her first post for Mass Make March 2025. In her video, she demonstrated how to make envelopes from a piece of paper. And today I'm going to show you my take on that. So before I do that though, I want to address the gap in my videos. I have been creating every day and meeting the 100-day project guidelines, but I've had technical difficulties when it comes to posting my videos. I'm new at this editing thing and uploading videos, and it all became very overwhelming for me. This particular video gave me a lot of difficulty. I had poor quality of the video at first, and then even worse audio once I got my new camera. So I've taken a little bit of time to figure it all out, and I hope to be more consistent from here on out. So, with that being said, let me get the table cleared off, and I will be right back. The first thing we need to do is make our paper square. And the easiest way that I have found to do that is to fold the top edge of your paper over to the side edge. Now, you want to make sure that the part you want to be the top flap of your envelope is the top edge that you fold over. Okay. Then you're going to make a little crease at the bottom to mark where you need to cut. Now, I'm going to use my ruler and align that on my mat to tear off that bottom part to make my paper square. Now, I'm going to quickly walk you through how to make this envelope, but if you want more detailed directions and to see a different way to decorate the envelope, then head on over to Seven Plaza. I have linked the link to her video down below. All right, so we need to mark the center point of the square, and this just makes it easier for us to align the points of the paper when we're folding the edges. You're going to place your ruler corner to corner and draw lines so that you get that little center point. And then you're going to take the points on the corners of the paper and fold those in. But you want to make sure that the flap that you want for the top is pointing up. You're going to fold each side of the flap points to the middle, making sure that they point right at that middle point. And then you're going to turn your paper so that the top and bottom flaps are pointing up and down. Next, fold your bottom point up towards the middle and align the point right on that center line that you drew, making sure that you overlap the bottom part just a little bit. And you're going to repeat for the top. Oh my goodness, look at the colors in that. That is so cool. I love it. All right, so now what we need to do is we need to remove some of the bulk that was created when we overlapped the folds for the top and the bottom. So to do that, we're going to chop the little triangles out that were created when we folded that overlap. Okay. The easiest way I found to do this was to take and align my blade right there with that creases that I was pointing out. You line the blade of your scissors up along that crease, pointing towards the fold, and you snip along the crease, but not across the fold. Make sure you don't do that. Okay. Just snip right to that fold. All right. And then you're going to open the flap up so that you can snip off the rest of that little triangle part. I'm going to do it one more time in this slower speed so that you can see how I've lined the scissors up into that crease and cut towards that fold and then open up and snip that little part off. Now you're just going to repeat that with the other two sides where that overlap created the triangle. So I like the flap of my bottom part of my envelope to have a straight edge. And if you look, you can see that there's a little W that's created where that point is. I'm going to put my ruler right at the bottom points of that W. Then I'm going to fold that tip back towards the ruler, open it up, fold the tip in towards the inside, and stick a little dab of glue on it. Then I'm going to fold my flap up so that my side flaps are underneath and run some glue under the edges of that bottom flap. Now that I've finished one envelope, I am going to make a whole bunch more of these off camera, and I'll be back soon to show you how many I do. So it's been about 3 hours, and I finished up all of the envelopes I wanted to make. I ended up with about 40 envelopes total. Some of them are little tiny ones. I just love this little guy. Look how stinking adorable he is. Oh my goodness. And this one, adorable. There's some envelopes from Shel Silverstein book pages, some from just regular text, worksheets for kids from some workbooks. I've got some pages from books that are children's literature books, and these are actually from books that I had as a kid. I didn't want to store the books anymore, so I thought they would be really cute in a little golden book junk journal for teachers. And these were actually some of my favorite stories when I was a kid, so I just thought they would be really cool to include in my junk journals. These are pages from some workbooks that I had and some pages from a book about classroom management for beginning teachers. These music pages are really cool, and I really like this one because somebody made notations of the musical notes on there. And we've got a whole lot of ones that are just text. These are from an almanac that I picked up at a thrift store. And the next one that you will see is an encyclopedia that I picked up from a thrift store that I think's from like the 60s or 70s, I can't remember, but with these, I had to throw a lot of them away because the paper is really brittle and they were starting to crack along the folds when I was folding them. So that just means I need to make sure to use these for projects that I don't need to fold the paper for anything. This next one is really cool because it's from not only from one of my childhood books, but it's also cool because it has something special about it. On this envelope is boo boo tape, original, authentic, vintage boo boo tape from the 1960s. Now we're going to see some more with text on it. And these are from an IKEA bookcase assembly instructions. I love them. I know it's kind of silly, but stick around until the end because I will show you one that I completed. It looks really cool. All right. These last ones are from Margaret's Ko-Fi shop. They're freebies. She's got a lot of really good freebies, and each of the freebies are also part of a kit that you can purchase as well. The first one that you're going to see is from the Bessler US letter freebie, and it's got some really beautiful flowers and colors on it. I just love the colors on this envelope. And then these last two are from her French documents freebie. The text on both of them is just really cool, and I love the colors for them as well. Look at that gorgeous text. I just love it. And then this one also has this little stamped image on it that just makes it even a little bit more special. So now I'm looking for ideas on how to store all of my mass makes. Please comment below with how you store your mass make ephemera. I need serious help. So, since Margaret was the inspiration for this post, I want to pay homage to her. And I found this page in my encyclopedia about the Netherlands. So, I decided that we were going to decorate this page. The flower that you see here is from Margaret's Bessler freebie on Ko-Fi. And it's a little playing card or maybe a cigarette card. Look at that. Isn't that really pretty? And then I also used a legend from the map in the encyclopedia. And I also tore out a small piece of that map that shows Rotterdam, where Margaret used to live. And something paying homage to Margaret must include a number label because Margaret loves her some number labels, especially number labels from the Junk Journal Studio, just like this. And the finishing touch, of course, would be a stamp with Queen Juliana, Margaret's favorite queen. All right, so we're going to ink up the edges here really quick. And then I decide that I want to knock back some of that white because it's just really bright. And so I'm going to use a blending brush and my tea dye ink to knock that back a little. Be careful not to be too heavy-handed like I am on this next corner. Make sure that you start by rubbing your blending brush on a scrap of paper first and then onto the envelope. All right, so we're ready to glue our envelope and get it all finished up. And this part of the envelope will be finished and we'll be ready to put it into my ideas journal. All right, Margaret, I don't know if you will ever see this, but this is for you. You have been a great influence on my journaling style and have inspired me to start a YouTube channel. So thank you very much. Earlier, I asked you to stick to the end so that you could see an example of the IKEA bookcase assembly instructions already decorated. And here it is. I mean, come on, does this look like an envelope that used to be IKEA bookcase assembly instructions? I mean, seriously. True, you can see some lines right there. And when you flip it over, you can see on underneath the flap that it says IKEA. But I don't know. I'm thinking this isn't bad for repurposing something that would have definitely gone into the trash can. I mean, this is junk journaling at its finest. The stamp and ledger label are from Margaret's Bustler freebie. The label is from the Junk Journal Studio, and the clock is also from Ko-Fi. It's by Paper Whimsy Creation and is from their Vintage Ephemera #1 kit, and it too is a freebie. Let's get this envelope into my journal. So the first page that I find is too busy. So I'm going to flip through a couple pages and try to find one that is a little more plain and doesn't have anything else going on with it. And I find one right here. I'm going to glue it along that edge so that we can make it a flip. But first we need to decorate that flap of the envelope. And I want to put a label, and oh my goodness, look at my label box. It is so full. I've been so busy cutting out all of my labels from Michelle at the Junk Journal Studio and also some labels from Tracy Fox. Okay, get ready for a short trip on the struggle bus. And mind you, it's only short because I have sped this up. I didn't plan this part of the envelope, and I didn't think it would be so hard for me to do. Huh, should have figured that one out. So after touching what seems like almost every single label in that little box trying to find the perfect one, which takes me forever, I remember that I have some more of those floral stamps from Margaret's Bestler freebie. I like that it will bring some of the color from the front side of the envelope over to the flap on the back side of the envelope. So now I'm just gluing that stamp down along with a cute little label that I got from the Junk Journal Studio. All right, so now it's time to put my envelope onto the page. And I'm going to glue it so that there's a flap there. But then I noticed that the envelope is starting to tear. And you can see a little bit of glue there on the envelope. I'd already started to glue it down. So I grabbed some washi tape and try to figure out which washi tape will work best and come up with one from Tim Holtz's salvaged line. And I'm just going to put this along that crease so I can provide a little bit more stability on that crease so that my envelope doesn't end up falling apart on me. That would be a massive bummer. So now I'm going to put some more glue on there, but when I do that, I want to make sure I glue up above that washi tape because I'm really not quite sure whether it'll stick to the washi tape or not. And finally, our envelope is complete. It's attached to the journal and looks fantastic. So there's the two decorated envelopes and all of the other envelopes that I created. So I want to say a huge thank you for your support and your kindness. I'm just amazed at how many followers I have already and how many views my videos have. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And with that, I'm going to wish you a good night. Have a fantastic day tomorrow. Bye.